right.
Hello, Jessie B.
Hello, bright and early.
Hello, Slack.
Well,
Oh.
that's yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It seems I can't get both of you together at the minute. It's either one or the other. It's there's always something, isn't there?
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, right? It is this time of year. And this is like chaos time of year. It's almost Thanksgiving. It's then Christmas. So I feel like it's going to be a little bit harder to get us all on the same page every week, but we're going to try. We're absolutely going to try.
Good news, Jessie. We've moved recording time again, which means we've removed. No, not removed. Did I just say removed?
You did.
We've changed recording time again, and we've changed release time again. So this podcast will no longer be coming out this morning because it's now this afternoon. It will be coming out tomorrow morning. So I suppose, what podcast are you talking about, folks in Hotel? Well, of course, it's the Minecraft Update podcast. We're on episode 44, and it's still very much unofficial because Mojang or Microsoft haven't bought us yet. Maybe they will. Oh, Jessie B.
That kind of money, man.
Yeah, I only want $2.5 billion. That's all I need. Right? Yeah,
I think
I could live on that
price.
Yeah. They paid it for whatever game it is we play.
Minecraft.
That's the one. Jeez. Right. Okay. Moving on. Jessie, what have you been up to this week? Jeez.
Lots and lots of editing and recording and streaming. I've been trying to really keep on top of content. Like, I don't know, the past 2 weeks especially, but I've switched up the way that I've been editing or I guess just forming videos, and it's been really fun. But it's also made my process a lot quicker, which in turn means more videos and means, more of things.
Explain. How have you switched it up, and why is it quicker? And is this a response to those questions we got over the last few feedback? Oh my goodness. Podcasts. Remember we were talking. No, Jace, forget it. Just tell me. I'm clearly broken. This podcast is going to be fun.
It is. No, it wasn't in response to all the questions we've been getting, but it did kind of line up pretty well, I guess. So what I've been doing is I have finally, 2-3 years later, been doing more clips, I guess. Like, I still record way too long, if I'm being completely honest, but I do remember to break the recording a lot more than I used to, which has helped because I don't have, an hour's worth of me just mindlessly building and not saying anything. So that's been fun. But also I have been doing more connecting clips. So I've been more third personing my episodes, and it's gone over pretty well, which is interesting. I thought that people wouldn't like that from me, and I have gotten pretty nice feedback, which has been
Give me an example.
When we did the end prank thing, right? I did many clips of, well, I went on this adventure and this happened, and then doing a clip of that, and then coming back to me and being like, but that's not the end of that, then this happened.
That's funny because that's exactly how I edited our end of Dragon Fight video.
Really?
Did exactly the same thing. Yeah, amazing. Okay, cool, good.
Yeah, so that's that's kind of what I've been doing, and that's been a lot of fun. And I think it's made my episodes go a little smoother because I've done that before, but not completely. So this was one of the first times that I did that completely through the episode. So it was I started third person and then ended third person in the same place. And I really enjoyed that. So I was like, okay, that made editing a little bit easier, but in doing more content, I have found that trying to find that good balance of content versus real life, I'm a little bit struggling to find the right balance. And I know you know what that's like, where you go too into one or the other. And it's just like, yeah, turns out not the easiest thing in the world to to balance, especially because the new Pokemon game just came out. And me and the family have been.
Don't do it. It doesn't work anyway. It's broken. Don't play it.
It is fairly broken and glitchy, but it is so fun. And yeah, I have been deep in that while trying to, deal with all of the IRL home life stuff. Because I think I mentioned the hub's lost his job, like he got laid off. So he's been here nonstop. And like, so we're balancing that, and it's been a thing.
Get him editing your videos.
Huh?
Get him editing your videos.
I mean, that's a thing.
Jeez. Okay. Yeah. Well, speaking of Pokemon, so obviously I play Pokemon Legends, and as much as I enjoyed the game, I was thoroughly irritated by the just ridiculous amount of story and text and stuff. They could have summarized every single cutscene into about 10 seconds, and they didn't. And it's like Animal Crossing; it just goes on forever and ever and ever. Yeah. But at least in Pokemon, you've got an option. Whereas, and then I was aware that this new one was coming out, and it's a very similar style, isn't it, to Legends in terms of the open worldness and the look. I believe. I don't think it's the same type of game, but it's more. It's a bit of a. It's not like the normal Pokemon styles.
Yeah, definitely.
So I was tempted, but then every single screenshot I've seen of it is somebody mid-conversation, and I just thought, no, I can't. I'm not ready again for many pages of listening. And like one of the things, believe it or not, it's a Pokemon game. The thing I disliked the most from it was collecting the Pokemon. So I had no like desire at all to collect all of the different Pokemon and fill in the Pokedex. I enjoyed getting the ones that I wanted to do battling with, and I enjoyed getting the ones you needed for the storylines, but there was way too many side quests. Trying to fill in that quest log was an absolute nightmare. And I kind of want the open world stuff, but a bit more of a linear story if I'm playing a game. So I like the idea of Pokemon, but I just don't think it swings enough towards my general, like what I look from a game, really. So, yeah, I haven't been playing that.
I will say the thing that I really liked about this game that was different from every other one that I've played is you can do all of the badges in any order. Like, so you don't have to stick to any sort of path. It's like literally open world, and I can just do whatever I want. And so it's been really fun.
How close to Breath of the Wild is it in that sense?
Very. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Because I really liked Breath of the Wild. Oh, don't sell me on Pokemon. I've got too much to do. Okay. Right. Moving swiftly away from Pokeballs. Oh, geez. Speaking of Pokeballs. Oh, man. Yes. Oh, I don't think I could sit and watch another Pokeball not catch a Pokemon. Why does the animation take so long? Just be like, you didn't get it. Tough luck.
Yeah, that is actually the most irritating thing in the world.
Cut into a Pokeball that's going... Nah, sorry, mate.
Yeah, exactly.
Try again. You're like, just shut up.
Yes. But besides Pokemon, how was your week? What did you do?
Oh, geez, this week, Jessie B. They're all fading into one at the minute.
Yeah.
I've got a major issue in the fact that I've just become overwhelmed with not necessarily good ideas, but things that I've realised I can do and that I want to do that aren't all of the things I should be doing. So Mr. Spreadsheet, very unhappy with me at the minute because I haven't been doing any marketplace stuff. I've been hardly doing any of my content creation stuff, and I've been just thoroughly enjoying working on this Minecraft admin website-y thing of many glory, which is just taking forever and ever and ever because the more I do in it, the deeper I get, and the further away from the end goal I seem to be. So I was doing that, and then for no reason at all, I just decided that I wanted to finally figure out how to make like live previews of Minecraft skins in websites. So I don't know if you're aware, but I've got a website called fxnt.net where you can log in and make skin packs and player heads and stuff like that. But there's no preview on it. It shows you like a player head wearing the skin. But obviously, if you're making a skin pack, you kind of want to see what the skins look like on the players. And if you're making a player heads pack with avatars, you want to see what they look like. So I went down this rabbit hole of learning how to like do 3D modeling in websites and building scripts to do that, and that took a few days. Well, about 2 days up, and now that's on my that website now. So that's nice.
That is that's a really handy thing. So I'd say worth your time, but yeah,
yeah. But it's the problem is all of these ideas come to me as I go to bed. So like last night. I went to bed at a reasonable time, and then I just suddenly thought, for no particular reason, I wonder how Mr. Arm's MC Launcher downloads the versions of Minecraft. That can't be too difficult. So then I spent like 2 hours lying in bed on my phone, trawling through his code because it's all open source, trying to work out how he did it. And I don't understand any of it, but now I do. And I'm like, I wonder if I could do that in like a website thing and build that into that. I don't know if it's possible. I've no idea, but it'd be really cool if I could. So now I spent like all morning doing that, and instead of doing the other things I should be doing. So yeah, I'm really enjoying this. It's good for my brain in one sense, but I'm also really tired and really off track. So yeah. The other thing that's happened this week is I've finally, to the behest of my VIPs, I've finally launched my Winter Wonderland Challenge server. It was supposed to be launched ages ago. I did say it was going to be for December, but they really, really wanted to start early. They were after the fantasy server. They were jumping at the bit to get going. So I said I'd get it done for the beginning of November, and obviously it's now the 23rd.
Yeah.
And one of the issues I had was that they're so keen on it. It's amazing, but they've gone down this big old rabbit hole of basically the idea that we came up at the end of the fantasy server stream we would do a Winter Wonderland thing, which in my mind is lots of snow and grottos and Christmas trees and candy canes and things like that. And that's a very Western, Northern Hemisphere sort of ideal of Christmas and Winter Wonderland stuff. And I just thought, it'd be dead easy. We'll just pick a seed with the big snow biome. Off we go.
Yeah.
And then they came back and were like, we got a seed and here's some screenshots of this build area. And I'm like, it's in the middle of a jungle. Why are you building in a jungle? And it was like where they want to build is like this landmass, which is amazing looking. It looks absolutely fantastic. But I was like, and they're giving ideas of exactly what they wanted to build there and go and gather all the snow and stuff. And I was like, it probably will look absolutely incredible when it's done. But because it's so focused on this one particular thing that would have to be done in a very particular way, obviously that's not very inclusive for anybody else that wants to just sort of hop along to it and come and build. So I was like, that was my concern, was like, well, that's great, but we need a seed and we need an area where anyone can just come in and like build whatever they want to do with Christmas or winter or whatever. But they badgered me into doing that one and just basically saying, well, there's an area here that sort of leads up to it and we could do this path and stuff. And I thought, do you know what? They've impressed me so much with the medieval server and the fantasy server. I'm just going to back off. Just let them do what they want. Yeah. So yeah, we got that launched yesterday finally, and they've already crashed it twice with RAM issues, which is nice.
Oh, yay.
But it shows that they've just got a message this morning. They've all got Elytras already. I'm like, wow, geez, okay. Good luck, guys. You got till January. I can't wait to see what that is.
Yeah, so, yeah. I mean, at least they have a vision, right? Like they know what they want.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, they've done amazing stuff so far. So who am I to say, no, that's no good? I think it'll be brilliant. So yeah, that is my week pretty much in a nutshell. That's it, Jessie B. What else have I done? Nothing. Nothing at all. Bits of sleep here and there, picking Oliver up from school, and then that's it.
I've seen you live streaming. You've been over on the YouTubes.
Yeah, I've done some live streaming. I didn't do Monday mornings because we obviously did stream weekend. And I didn't do, last Thursday's morning or evening just because I was busy. But Mitz and I have moved, obviously, our streams from a Wednesday evening to a Monday evening now as well. So everything's moved about. The whole schedule's up in the air. You guys changing the podcast time again. Mitz changing the streams, and I just don't know where I'm coming and going. I just want to build websites, bro. So,
That's
right. Well, that's enough of our weeks, Jessie. I don't think I can go into any more detail. So
that's
obviously it's time to go into the feedback. And the feedback is all of the things that the people that listen to this podcast or watch it on YouTube have to say about this podcast.
Woo.
And it's very nice. If you want to leave us some feedback, you can do by sending us an email to news@theminecraftupdate.com, which nobody does anymore. Or you can fill in our handy feedback form, which is on the minecraftupdate.com website, which not many people do anymore. Or you can join our Discord and leave it in the feedback channel, which not many people do anymore. We've had a few, actually. We've got a good bit of feedback this week, starting with Rotated Owlface, who says, something really trivial and pointless can disproportionately really annoy you. Well, I don't understand why people keep referring to the sniffer as a dinosaur. Mojang never called it a dinosaur during the mob vote, and it doesn't look much like a dinosaur with his 6 legs. Where did the idea that it's a dinosaur come from? It's not a bleeding dinosaur. All right, Rob, calm down. It's ancient, right?
Yep.
In our worldly history, we only have reference to ancient things as basically either bacteria or dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Or fish. Some insects. But it's not a fish. It's not a bacteria.
Yeah.
It looks a bit like a dinosaur. It's got a beak. A lot of dinosaurs had beaks.
Yeah. I think I mostly called it a dinosaur because it looked like a dino egg, right? Like in the thing, it was just like this little egg, and it was ancient. So ancient and egg, just dino. Like,
or it's been they've gone out of date and you need to throw them away because they're just I wouldn't eat them.
Yeah,
would you?
Really
Jeez, ancient eggs, no thanks. Yeah, so I'm really sorry, Ruff. It won't ever happen again. You old moaning dinosaur.
It's always going to be a dino to me. I am so sorry, Ruff. I adore you, but it is my little dino friend.
Wow. Okay, moving on, Jessie B.
Mia's John says, I was listening to the talk about shift locking, and I'm wondering why caps lock doesn't just do this automatically. Seems like it would be completely intuitive and easy. Just look down at the cap lock light and see if you're locked. Do you know how often I accidentally hit cap lock?
Constantly.
I would be so annoyed if I was like running and I accidentally hit cap lock and all of a sudden I'm crouching and I'm like, let me out of crouch. Like, no.
Yeah,
no.
Do you know what? I agree, but I disagree. I think it does make sense because that's what caps locks does. And it would be handy. And I think you would train yourself not to accidentally press caps lock because at the moment it doesn't have any consequence. But if I'm playing Minecraft and I go to write on a sign, everything's inverted because I've got caps lock on. Or if I do hit it all the time, but it does make sense that there is a toggle. Considering you can do it on mobile and you can do it on console, and the keyboard has literally millions of buttons. Some of them are called lock. It would make sense that there was a button to do it on keyboard. It is very strange that that's not in the game. So,
I agree.
Yeah. Maybe, scroll lock or num lock or something, but, caps lock could do. I'd be happy with that. Jeez. Dutch says, Foxy and Slack. Thank you guys so much. Exactly the kind of info I was looking for. Great work as always with the pod. Audio on point as usual. Almost completely caught up. Don't know what I'll listen to at work when I am. Lasai. Dutch fell asleep in his base and died to a random zombie, waking up in time to discover all of his items had despawned. Yep.
Oof.
Yeah,
Oof.
many a time I've done that. Well, how many times, Josie, do you get distracted either by kids or someone at the door or something, and you just go and deal with it. And by the time you finish dealing with it, you're like, oh, I'll just make a coffee and I'll do this and I'll do that. And you come back and you realise you've not logged out.
Oh, yeah, that has happened to me many times. Just not realizing that I hadn't logged out. And then come back and I'm like, oh.
Yeah, most of the time, fortunately, you're like in your base or somewhere safe. But I've done it so many times. I'm just like, I'm out at night, just out in the world somewhere. I'm like, oh, jeez, quick. So yeah, I totally understand that one, Dutch. Jeez, and thank you very much for the feedback. It's very nice of you.
Robo Rufus says, the Hello Podcast crew. I did indeed spell peaceful wrong, but I used the settings tab to change my game mode. Thanks for the great pod, Robo Rufus.
Okay, so Robo Rufus last week was saying, I think it was in the Bugdate, that they changed the game to peaceful and they were still getting shot by piglins and things like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which is not ideal. The only other thing I can think, Robo Rufus, if that's the case, is that maybe you're using some sort of add-on or pack that fiddles with the mobs and it's taken away whatever the game uses to recognise them as hostile. I don't know.
Oh.
Bit of a weird one. Maybe it is a bug. I've not seen it. We have no Bugdate link for it or a bug tracker link for it. So if anyone else has experienced that, then please do send us a link so we can check it out.
Yeah. That's really interesting.
Me as John says, it occurs to me after listening to your podcast this week and your live stream, Foxy, that the beta/preview system that Mojang is employing already is exactly what I was getting after in my feedback from October about release features as the team thinks they're ready for users to evaluate. Is that the one where you were talking about like putting out NAF code just to get it out quickly and then worrying about it later? I think so. If that's the case, then yeah, that's exactly what the beta preview system is. But,
oh, wow.
Yeah. Jeez, I don't remember as far back as October. So.
Yeah, me either.
To be fair, it's not. I mean, the idea of the beta and preview system is that they're as far as Mojang are concerned, everything's all done, tested and works, but obviously only working in their very small environment with their very small amount of in-house testing that they can do in a timely manner. So that's why they push it out to the public, so that the public have an opportunity to find the other bugs and things with it in hopes that they can get dealt with in time for it to go live for the main update, which is very difficult now considering they seem to turn around these betas in a month.
Yeah.
So obviously they're not working on them for just a month. Like at the moment we're getting the betas and previews for 1.19.50. And they've been probably working on that for 2 or 3 months, you know, but they're still updating them weekly after feedback that we give them weekly, and they're just rolling them out monthly. So I just don't feel like there's enough time for them to really get to grips with it, because there's not enough of the public playing. I know they've made the preview like more accessible now, but I don't think there's enough people. The people playing the preview are likely to be the people that are just like, I want the new features quicker, rather than the sort of people that make bug reports, you know. So I bet there aren't any more bug reports being produced than there were previously when it wasn't as accessible, because the people that are genuinely involved in doing that sort of stuff and finding bugs and reporting them are probably the same people that are doing it now. Yeah. So yeah, I think monthly's too much. Sorry, Jesse, keep talking over you there.
No. I'm just agreeing with you. I think that is exactly right. The people who would be the ones dedicated enough to make the bug reports and stuff, they would have already been there. So I do think that's just not, it wouldn't make any sense.
No, but good news, Jesse, because now they're doing this with Java Edition as well.
I did see that, yeah. Oh, goodness.
Goody.
Yeah. Mia's John
Jeez.
also says, it would be fun if Foxy gave Nautilus shells durability, and that became the thing you use to cause dolphins to dash. No new model required.
Now, Mia's John, that begs an interesting question. According to Mojang, vanilla items and blocks are not editable.
Oh.
So if you want to make a custom item, it has to be a completely custom one. However, I believe that when I did my Infinity Dungeon map, I changed a few of the properties for gold armor in order to make it more special and shiny, to give it more durability. So I think it might be possible in some ways to do that. So it'd be interesting to fiddle with that and find out. But there is another piece of feedback, or I don't know whether it's in feedback questions or wish list about that as well, which is also a good idea. So we'll get to that as we move on.
Yeah, we'll dive deeper.
Yeah. CJ says, hello, guys. Love your podcast. I heard that the quiz might not be coming back, but I had an idea. What if we guys made quiz questions with 4 answer options for you in the question section? This way, you wouldn't have to fully bring back the quiz section and still have it. I have a silly question for you in the question section. Again, I enjoy the podcast a lot. Keep up the good work. Thank you. CJ, I don't know where you're getting your information wrong, because the quiz section, as far as I'm concerned, is always here. It's never going away. It's just that we're way too lazy to deal with it and put it together, and we're still waiting on you guys to do it. I love the quiz section. I know we've only done it once, but I want that to be a weekly thing because I think it's hilarious. So we just need you guys to produce quizzes for us and send them to me, and then I can quiz Jessie B and Slack and make them look foolish every week.
Wow, so you don't plan on doing it. Okay. 10 out of 10 do not like.
All right. What we'll do then is we will alternate who's the quiz host every week. So we'll start with me. So the next quiz we do, get your questions ready, send them to me, and then the one after that, and it doesn't even have to be the same quiz. You can come up with a totally different game as long as it works on a podcast and it's to do with a host asking questions to the other ones. Don't even have to be about Minecraft, although that kind of really ought to be. But, I love stuff like that. I think it's really engaging, it's really funny, and it beats reading tons and tons of, change logs. Yeah. So, yeah. Yes, Blesbra questions.
I definitely agree. If our very smart, very active, very, very wonderful listeners here would like to do that, that would be great. Thanks.
Hey, do you know what, Jessie? I got an idea.
Yeah.
If we had a patron, right, for the podcast, we could tell, because, as soon as you got patrons, it's weird, right? They want to work for you. They want to do things even more than... So we'll just be like, we got these patrons now. Okay, it's your job to do this, and it's your job to do that. We delegate to them.
We could just have a quiz master tier.
Yeah, exactly. It's only $10.99 a month. It's all good. You get to do the quiz every week.
It'll be great.
Good deals.
It'll be great.
We'll say your name and everything, mate, to get a shout out.
Yeah, for the question you come up with, we will read it before the question. It'll be great. It'll be so good.
Yeah. I'm sold on this already. Where's the link? I want Quizmaster role.
I know, right? I actually would genuinely like that. That is a title, Quizmaster Jessie. Heck yes. Yeah. Oh my gosh, before we get down this rabbit hole, Brood says, hi, in the last podcast, you mentioned having an item that you can use on a dolphin to make it dash. That isn't fish. What about creating a trainer's whistle that has durability? If you don't want to have to craft it again and again, you could have it give the player a new one once the durability is depleted. So that's the one you were talking about.
Yes, and I like this because no offense, Brood, but I don't think it's particularly well thought out. So what Brood is saying is to create a completely custom item that has durability, but in order to not use or worry about the durability, it just gives you a brand new one when it's finished, when it's dead. What's the point? It's the same as you using the fish at the minute that doesn't, you don't lose the fish. I really liked it until I read that last line, Brood. I was like, this is a great idea. And then we'll just give them a new one when it's gone. Yes, that's technically possible, but totally pointless.
Yeah. Yeah, if they just give you a new one and you don't have to craft something. Yeah, it could be anything. It's fine.
I like the idea of a trainer's whistle. That makes sense, especially with the dolphin squeaking. I don't know if it'd be possible to make it make a noise when you used it or not, but I think the easiest thing is what Slack and I said last week, and we'll just make a new fishing rod, which is fish on a stick, like carrot on a stick, And then when it's depleted, you just get your fishing rod back.
Oh, that's actually really good.
Yeah. It beats having a brand new one when the durability runs out. I'm sorry, Brood. It's really funny because it's like, yeah. What about when your elytra is broken? You just get a brand new one. Oh, I like it. Yeah, I don't need mending on this now. Sorry. Right. Drew says, "Hi, Foxy and friends. I've been listening to your podcast for a while now and have some feedback to share. And then they go on for about 47 pages." As follows. "I enjoy the different segments of your podcast as they produce interesting conversations among the hosts. I also appreciate the emphasis on Bedrock Edition since so many content creators focus on Java Edition. I find Foxy No Tail to be unique among many content creators as he often speaks about his own experience with add-on development. I believe that experience allows him to discuss platforms and devices in a more thorough and thoughtful manner. I find this both refreshing and interesting to listen to when conversations are about features or mechanics. It's important to recognise not everybody uses a mouse and keyboard when playing Minecraft, even when playing on PC. I wish more people would consider adaptive input devices before ranting why or why not Mojang implemented a feature. I also appreciate how quickly Slack can research and find an answer to a question. Slack certainly keeps Foxy honest. However, I often find the show to be quite cynical at times. For example, the host seems to routinely admit they don't know or understand the development cycle at Mojang, yet often criticise or make sarcastic remarks. They can also be quick to dismiss ideas without constructive feedback of their own. I don't see how this adds value to the conversation. Fortunately, Jesse's positivity balances out the group and makes the whole podcast palatable." Wow. Jeez, this took a turn. "I've enjoyed how your podcast has evolved and wish you all the best in the future. It started off like, I really like this podcast, but it's rubbish. The only person here who likes Jesse P. Jeez. Okay. May I respond to this,
Yes.
this feedback? I really appreciate this feedback, though, either way. I think it's great. Thank you very much, Drew, and thank you for pointing out things. You're absolutely right. We do very much often criticise things. And that comes from a point of passion rather than a point of anger or upset. Because we've been involved with this game for some of us over 10 years, and we love it. We're invested in it. Our livelihoods are based on it. The game doesn't owe us anything, although I spent more money on Minecraft than pretty much anything else in my life with all the different versions I had to download because I was stuck in the beta. But the problem is, it's quite often very obvious when there are flaws in the system, and you don't need to know exactly how the process works behind the scenes to know that something's not right.
Yeah.
And that happens with everything in life. If you've got experience in something, even to a small level, one of my teachers at school used to say, you read a book on a topic and you're an expert in that topic. You don't have to be the best expert in the world. You don't have to be the top person that's researched it, but you know enough to comment on it, and you know enough to give criticism and give feedback on it because you understand enough about that subject or that thing. Mm-hmm. So it's very easy for not an individual developer, and sometimes an individual developer, but more of a studio like Mojang. It's very easy to hide behind things like, there's things out of our control. There's the powers that be say this, and Microsoft say that, and Xbox makes us do this. It's very easy to make a list of excuses without, and then just hide behind that without trying to improve things where there's genuinely issues. And like we've suggested already in this podcast today, criticizing the update schedule. Yeah. The more hotfixes or the more betas and previews they put out, the more opportunities the game's got to evolve and develop.
Yeah.
But it still means that they're pushing out code and assessing whether that code is good enough in a time span that's not long enough, in my opinion. And having played this game for so long, you go from, we used to get on Bedrock Edition at least, Java Edition was always getting updates, but Bedrock Edition, you'd get your main update, and then maybe if you were lucky, you'd get a hotfix a few months later, and then, maybe if you were lucky and things were still a bit broken, you get another hotfix. And sometimes a whole year would go by with some horrendous bugs and flaws in it, until the next one came out, which wasn't a good system because that meant you were playing with this awful stuff for a long time. And now they've gone the opposite direction where it's so regular that more and more bugs are creeping in with every month we're getting a stable release. And every single month within a week, we're having a hotfix because the stable release is just totally broken. And it's been like that for the last 3 or 4 updates. I mean, we on Truly Bedrock, last season we stuck on Minecraft 1.19.10 because 1.19.20 was totally broken. The hotfix for the first hotfix for that was totally broken. The second hotfix for that was totally broken. 1.30 was totally broken. And if I had my way, we'd still be on it on season 5 because in a lot of ways, 1.40 is totally broken. It completely destroys servers. You know, there's this massive RAM leak in it. The optimization's awful. It shouldn't have been released. All 4 of those shouldn't have been released when they were released. So I think it's perfectly valid to criticize things like that based on the amount of experience that we've got without knowing 100% of how it all works. I think that's fine. And I think more people should do that. The more people just that don't know anything that criticize things shouldn't. But if you know things, if you are experienced and your criticism is relatively valid, you know, if you can validate that and you've got reason behind it, more people should do it and hold people accountable. Because it's not fair to say the developers individually are rubbish and they're doing a bad job. But it is fair to say Mojang are still the ones that are in charge of this game and how it works. And regardless of who's telling them to do what, and regardless of what shareholders say, they need to be putting things in place around that rather than making compromises and cutting corners. They need to look at that, assess it, go, this isn't working, and make a change. And unless people are criticizing it and complaining and moaning, they won't.
Yeah. I think that's definitely a huge part of it, right? Is I will say, so getting back to this feedback real quick, I do think that's something that like we've all been very vocal about is we are 3 kind of very different opinions and personality types, and I think that's what makes us work as friends, but also as co-hosts, right? Is we have kind of a spectrum here of opinions and stuff. But I do think that we are very good about not being overly harsh or critical, because we do come from a point, one, like Foxy said, of like there's passion there. There's we care about this game. We've been here for so long. I think every single one of us has played, since early Java days. So we've been here. We've seen all of these things that they've done, and we've seen it done in ways that are better. We've seen them done in ways that are worse, and all of that. I won't harp on everything that Foxy said, but he's absolutely right. Are there at points times that things can be worded better? Sure. But at the you know what they mean half the time. I know what they mean. And I don't think that it's, I guess I want to make sure that it's not just me feeling like we're pretty good at not being overly critical and overly harsh on Mojang, when I think we've all admitted, you know, they do a lot. Like, they do a lot. We can tell that they're busy. We can tell that they try. There are just problems in the process. And I think that people sometimes have a problem separating us criticizing a company or criticizing the way someone does something and not them themselves. Like, I know I definitely look at all of these devs and everything, and I have so much admiration for them, because it's got to be a really hard job. It's got to be difficult, and they put up with a lot of pressure, and they thrive, right? Because they're still around. They've been here this long. It's a good thing. However, their process is not great. their process is flawed. And like Foxy said, there's all of these updates that are coming out and just being so detrimental to a game that, you know, a lot of people play. And I think that they have culpability there and they have accountability that has to be answered for. So having people like us be like, hey, this isn't okay. You're getting lazy in the idea that you think it's acceptable, right? Like not lazy as in they're not doing anything, but feeling like, oh yeah, we can put this thing out that has a lot of issues and they'll just deal with it because they're just playing. And it's like, no, dude, fix it, please.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, just coming back to this feedback as well, obviously, you've got in there that they can also be quick to dismiss ideas without constructive feedback of their own, and we make sarcastic remarks. Absolutely. Yeah. I absolutely 100% will not change who I am to in those respects, because I pride myself on being open and honest. I don't hide anything. I don't talk behind people's backs. I don't secretly want to scam people. You know, I'm just a genuinely open and honest person, and my sarcasm streak is miles wide. I would never. The other thing you've got to know about me personally is, generally speaking, everything I say is a joke. I don't get angry. I don't get upset. I do about certain things in life. It's really important, you know, someone's bullying your kid at school or, you know, things like that. But when it comes to Minecraft, I'm very aware it's a game, right? I'm very lucky to be playing it. So when I make jokes and when I make sarcastic remarks, it's playful. It's not pointed at anybody. It's and when people send us ideas and feedback for the thing and we're being stupid with it and we're dismissive of it, or, you know, it's just fun. It's not. I think anyone that takes the time to listen to this podcast, brilliant. But at the same time, I'm not going to stand on eggshells and beat around the bush to try and avoid hurting people's feelings. I'm going to be myself. And if people don't recognize that I'm messing around and joking, well, maybe listen to a few more podcasts and get used to it, or don't. You know, you can choose to do that. But there's often a bit of a cultural divide. I was
just going to say, I think that's a huge thing for you specifically, is if people aren't used to your humor in general, even it's big. I'm used to it. I've been around British people forever. So it's like, it doesn't faze me, and I never think that you're serious. But I often forget that other people don't feel the same. Like they don't see it. And I'm like, why do you think Foxy's mad? He's not mad. Like he's having a good time. He thinks like this is funny. And people are like, no, he was really angry. No, I promise he wasn't angry. Like things are fine. And I'm like, oh, it's because they're not used to it yet. So I do think that is a huge thing to keep in mind is, one, we are professionals in the sense that we typically hold ourselves like pretty okay. So if there were a time where I think that Foxy were really angry, I don't think you guys would know about it.
No, and tell you what, I'm really critical when it comes to editing. If there's anything I think is remotely out of place or negative towards people or pointed, I cut it out. It goes. So, you know, there's we've been going on about the feedback for ages. It was 45 minutes in, but there's one more thing I wanted to add to this. No, it's fine. It's what a perfect example of this exactly is there's a podcast I started listening to a few years ago called The Computer Game Show. Now, bear in mind, this is 4 British male presenters who do many swearing. But I find it, on the majority, absolutely hilarious. Now, when I first started listening to it, I was so shocked because I genuinely thought at least 2 of the presenters hated each other. I thought one was the most arrogant, nasty, horrible person on the planet. And I'm thinking, how are these guys putting out a podcast every week? But I enjoyed it. But so I continue listening, and you just learn that that's their way of being funny. That's their way of bantering with each other. They're all obviously great friends, but when you listen to them, even from my sarcastic British perspective, it was shocking. So I can only imagine, obviously, if you guys are struggling with me, if you listen to that, you'd honestly think these people were wanting to kill each other. But no, it's so yeah. Everything I say, everything I do, whether or not I'm putting on an angry voice or a sarcastic voice or a silly voice, it's all from fun. If I wasn't having fun, I wouldn't be here. And I don't feel any anger. Even when I'm like getting ranty about something, if I'm having a rant on something or in a live stream, I'm not angry. I'm playing with the rant. I'm playing with it and enjoying it. But I'm still being honest. You know, I get my opinions across in an honest, but I think fun way. So there you go. Anyway, I think I've rambled on enough. Okay. Rant over, Jessie B. Jeez.
Okay. But I think that means it's like we're done with this section, which means now I have to put my listening ears on, right?
Yeah, no, it's time for you to go to sleep, isn't it? It's the news. Yeah. It's the news time. Go get yourself a nice blanket and a cup of cocoa and come back in about 20 minutes, okay?
Okay, we'll do.
Okay, first a news piece is Minecraft Bedrock Preview 1.19.50.25. Jessie B. And I can only say that I think we might be getting 1.19.50 next week because this has nothing in it. There are 5 items listed in this entire changelog. Okay? The first one is that they have undone one of the things that they did because it's still broken. And that is reverted to change to player being pushed while stuck inside a block to iron out some issues with pistons. And that's about it. The other ones, there's 2 touch control ones, which doesn't make really, I don't think it's worth going over because I don't think it's really, it's not like, oh, I told you don't like touch controls. No, it's not that. It's just, they're just pointless. They're not really interesting. And then there's a couple of user interface ones as well. And again, not particularly interesting. And that's about it. So hold on to your hats, peeps. I have a very strong feeling 1.19.50 will be with us next week. Because if it's not, we won't get it till February because Mojang are all going to be going on holiday for Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't see why they would put this out this week and then just not release it until, especially with it being so small, till February. It doesn't make sense. So I think we'll see that next week. It'll be totally broken. And it will, because this has got so many fundamental core changes to the game. They have changed command structures. They've changed block structures. They've changed so many things in this version that are... This is a massive change to Minecraft. Yeah. And although some of them are like, oh, yeah, but it'll only affect things if they're in the latest version, but you can hold stuff back in an old version. So, for instance, like every single one of my add-ons that has any functions in it, if I change them to be listed as the latest version, they would just be totally broken because all of the function commands will be wrong. Now, I'm hoping that what they've done works, because if it doesn't, either some poor employee at Mojang is going to be doing the hotfixes themselves while they should be at home with their families over Christmas, or we're not going to see a hotfix till like late January, early February. So yeah, this is a big deal to push out right before Christmas. So
yeah, it's going to be scary.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. So maybe, just in case, peeps, I'm just going to say it now. I'm not a big advocate for this, genuinely, but I would make sure on all of your devices, your consoles, your phones, your Windows, whatever you play Minecraft on, just turn off automatic updates. Turn it off, right? So that you're not stuck in something that's totally broken over the Christmas period, and wait until we have confirmation that it's okay before you hit that update button, because otherwise, if you just auto-update and then all of the people like me that run servers go, well, I'm not putting my server to that version, you're going to be stuck with nothing to play on for the holidays. So, yeah. Okay, right. Next piece of news is Minecraft. The next 2 pieces are actually both Minecraft Java Edition, and we have some very, very interesting things, Jessie.
Ooh.
We have Snapshot 22W46A, which has the ability with chiseled bookshelves to be able to them in any slot.
Wait, what? Like it'll remember?
Yep. You click on the slot you want it to go in, and it goes in that one, and you pick the book out of the slot you want it to come out of, and you get that one, which is amazing.
Yeah, that's really exciting.
I only want one more thing from Chisel bookshelves now. So we've got two more things technically. So we've got hoppers in and out of them.
Mm-hmm.
We've got redstone with comparators. We've got the ability to put any book in any slot. The first thing I want that in my mind is essential, but I don't think we'll get it, is that the colour of the book matches the type of book you're holding.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So Enchanted book's purple, basic book's brown, and the Squiddening book, whatever it's called, writable book is a different colour, whatever. I don't care what colours they pick, but I want to know which books on the bookshelf are Enchanted books, which ones are writable books, and which ones are just empty books. Okay? I think that's a reasonable thing to ask. And that is totally 100% doable on Bedrock Edition. All of that stuff already exists.
I was going to say, how realistic is that? Because I, again, don't know coding. Would that be easy?
Yes.
Ooh.
Very. So on Bedrock Edition, the hardest bit, the bit that you can't do, so basically all of those features for Chisel bookshelves are completely impossible to do with add-ons. So you couldn't make a block that will accept a hopper input or drop a hopper or drop stuff out through a hopper. You can do that with entities, but you can't do it with blocks. You can't make a block that you can click on in lots of different areas of it and have it react differently, i.e. putting a block in every slot. What you can do is have variated textures, into the sense that if I was making this in an add-on, I would say that when the user clicks on this particular part of the block, that would set this bookshelf property. Let's say that you've got a bookshelf property for each slot. So you've got property 1 through 6, right? Because there's 6 slots in a bookshelf.
Yeah.
You would say, okay, when you click on that one with this type of book in your hand, which you can detect, which is easy enough to do, then you would set that block property to either like a written book, blank book, writable book, whatever, and then it would just call that texture for that piece of geometry. So rather than just having one, like a piece of geometry is basically a cube, right? A Minecraft piece of geometry for a normal block is just a cube.
Yeah.
So for the Chisel bookshelf, I would just have 6 long rectangles stacked together that looks like a cube from the outside, but they're all individual, and then you can texture them all individually, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's doable, totally doable. All of that's in there, apart from the ability to use the hoppers with it and to click on the different places of it. But the ability to have properties and the ability to texture different parts of the block uniquely is there. So on Bedrock, they could easily do that. Easy. Mm-hmm. I don't know about how easy that would be on Java Edition, but I can't see it being a big problem. You know, if a stair can clip and change its shape when you put it next to another stair because it's going around a corner, you know, I don't think it would be difficult to do. So, yeah, I'm hoping for that one. The other thing I want from Chisel bookshelves is obviously them to come in all of the different varieties of wood.
Yeah.
Which I don't think we're going to get either.
Don't say that.
Okay, the other bits of news from this snapshot, there's some big ones. Obviously, I think we already talked about it last week, that they put out an article saying that they were going to be adding a new mob head, which is the Piglin mob head, and new note blocks, or not new note blocks, but when you put one of the mob heads on a note block, it would make a mob ambient sound. And now that's actually in Java Edition. So the Piglin mob head, which you obtain by a charge creeper, which is what I said it would be. See, I was right, guys. Yeah. You were all like, oh, no, it's going to be with a skeleton. You need a looting 3. No, it's a charge creeper. It will flap its ears when you wear it as a head and you walk around, or when you power it with redstone. And if you put it on a note block, obviously, it will make ambient piglin noises. So that's good news. We like this.
That's interesting.
It's interesting.
Did they talk about that? You guys probably talked about it in a different one. I was like, it makes sounds when you put it on a note block. Is that a new thing? I don't remember this.
So all of the available heads you can get in the game, apart from the player, although, you know, hold that thought because we've got another pre-release to go through in a minute. All of the available heads, so zombie, skeleton, creeper, ender dragon, wither skeleton, and now piglin, and I'm sure I've missed one out, but doesn't matter. You put them on a note block, and when you press the note block or play the note block, it will play an ambient sound from that. So the skeletons, you get rattling bones, and from the zombie, you get, and from the Ender Dragon, you get the Ender Dragon noise, and from the Piglin, you get that. The creepers go, tss, tss. You know, you don't get the explosion, but you get the. So you could. It's basically prank machine.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Okay.
So jumping ahead. I haven't finished with this changelog yet, Pete. But we're going to dive into Minecraft Java pre-release 1.1. Pre-release 1 for 1.19.3, because additionally to that, they've now said that player heads can contain a note block sound too. Right? So player heads, not actually a vanilla thing to get, although it is technically possible in Java Edition, because obviously Bedrock, Vanilla Tweaks has player heads forever. And it's a very simple thing to do. When a player dies, you get it to drop a skull, and those skulls can take the texture of the player's skin based on a bit of code. But they are allowing those heads to be programmed with data packs to have a sound. So you can get a unique sound per player head. So let's say me and you were playing on Java Edition, I chopped your head off and put it on a note block, and we had a data pack that had some of your, like, famous sayings. You would be able to play those on there.
Oh, that's cool.
It is. But that makes me wonder, are they going to add two things? Are they going to add the ability to actually get player heads in survival on Java Edition? Jesse?
I know I'm that would be the wow, there's a word that I'm looking for. Oh,
obvious,
wow.
Sensible?
Yeah, but I was, when something hints at something like that, the conclusion, it's the you would think so, basically.
Yeah, but then they could just be like putting this in as a fun thing to be able to do with data packs as well.
Yeah, be interesting.
I would really like it if they added actual player heads into the game.
Yeah,
and it's very easy to do on Java because, like I say, all that already exists. It's not like vanilla tweaks have had to do anything particularly exciting or difficult. I even made my own player and mob heads pack once upon a time, many ago, to do exactly the same thing. So that would be great if they did that. But what it leads me to is that I don't think, although I'm wondering, will this come to Bedrock Edition? Because Bedrock Edition has a substantial flaw when it comes to player heads, which is why I built a website called fxnt.net, because the problem with Bedrock Edition is, for security reasons, I'm assuming, lawyers and insurance companies and the powers that be, I imagine, are the ones beholden to this, make it so you cannot pull out any player's usable information from the game, which means you can't get their skin, particularly if they've got a marketplace skin or a Persona 1 or something like that, one they've built themselves. It's obviously going to be even more difficult. Even if there was a way to do it, you can't get a player's name. The most you can do is get this sort of generic Xbox user ID, which you can't even use like with a Microsoft API to get their player information or anything like that. So it's a very secure way of handling players on Bedrock. So I think realistically it means that the Java Edition peeps are going to be able to have that fun, and I don't think we're going to be able to get that on Bedrock. I just don't see how that would be possible. That
is a very sad story. Like that makes
yeah. So and well, you know, Hermitcraft will have it all and we won't be able to do it. And then I'll be getting millions and millions of comments going, "Can you build us a?" Yeah. So, thanks, guys. Okay, so back to the original 22W46A snapshot. So the other things we got in there is that they have totally nerfed portal farms. So things like the big ghast farms or wither fortress farms, things like that, have been totally nerfed because they've changed the light level of spawning mobs inside the nether to 7 and below instead of 11 and below, which means if they are near a portal, it will be too bright, which means it ain't going to work.
Wow. So does that mean portal ticking gold farms just don't work at all anymore?
Well, that's Bedrock. This is Java Edition.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I'm sure this will probably. I think it's already. No, they did change something on Bedrock a while ago, but yeah, Bedrock's unaffected by this. This is Java Edition. So I don't know if you've ever seen any of the Java Redstoners or any of the Hermitcraft peeps they build on the nether roof. These just massive, huge, big portals with platforms in between. It's a gas farm.
Yeah.
And then you just get millions of gas. They're totally broken now. Won't work.
Oh, wow. Yeah, because like that's the one where they go to the overworld and they're on a platform and then they just like die and it's terrible sounds in the overworld.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the gas will spawn a bit further away from the portals, so they'll be able to spawn in the middle and effectively eventually fly through, but the rates will just be totally nerfed because they won't be able to actually spawn next to the portal now, which is, fair enough.
Yeah.
So the bamboo, this is something we asked for last week, I think. We were talking about the new bamboo block and the strip bamboo block, Jesse, the green and the yellow ones. Have you seen them?
Yes.
Okay, so I was complaining that the top of the green one was the same yellow as the yellow one.
Yeah, it was
and
weird.
Didn't feel right. It was weird, wasn't it? Well, don't worry, Jesse B. They have fixed it. They have now got a top one with green and a top one with yellow, which look a million times better.
Nice.
Which is very much nicer.
Okay.
Yes. The bamboo plank texture has also been changed so that it actually matches original planks. So if you actually open up that changelog, Jesse, or anybody listening to this that wants the description, you can see in the picture that is associated with it in the background the bamboo plank blocks. The textures go horizontally rather than vertically now, which means they look a lot nicer there, although they don't look like the bamboo standing up, which is fine. But it does match the planks, so that's good.
Yeah. I think that
other changes
looks a lot better.
It does, doesn't it? It looks loads better. So other changes in this changelog are that the Endermen, when they pick up a block and drop it, that used to be all hard coded. Now that they will drop blocks using loot tables, so that's accessible from the data pack people. And they have an amazing new command, Jesse, that I want.
Oh, okay. What is it?
How many times would this command have come in useful for us truly Bedrock people? Bear in mind, this is Java Edition changelog, not Bedrock Edition changelog. But changelog, and I've said I've wanted it in the game for ages. I think I've even had it on the wish list before. It is the fill biome command, Jesse.
Fill biome?
Yeah, so you go to an area of your world that you go, I wish this was a mushroom island. Not like look of it, but I wish this didn't have mob spawning on it. Or I wish this was jungle biome, or I wish this was this. And you go, type in your command and poof, different biome.
That is amazing.
Yes.
Wow.
It is absolutely amazing, and I want it. And they also have added a change to the execute command, which means you can actually use that to detect it. So you can say, if a creeper is in this biome, then do that. Or if a creeper is not in this biome, then do that. So you can have biome-specific selectors when you're trying to run commands on things, which is absolutely fantastic.
Oh, that's great.
So yeah. And then jumping back to the pre-release one, again, we're not finished with this pre-release, but jumping to that one, they have also now added, they've tweaked that fill biome command again a bit more, though, so that you can now replace as well. So let's say you've got a little island somewhere that's surrounded by ocean, yeah? And you want to replace the island with a particular type of biome, but you don't want all the water colour to change colour. Then, so you can do fill biome, but replace this particular type of biome or these particular type of biomes, a bit of a list, without affecting everything else as well. So that makes it even more powerful. And I'm so jealous. Why they keep putting our wish list requests in the wrong versions, bro? Ah, man. Jeff, he promised me. Last week he had the new, whatever it was, going into Education Edition by mistake, and now he's got it going in. Oh, jeez. Java Edition.
So
Jeff,
close. So
do you know,
close.
Jeff, I said earlier we're not going to call out any developers and be critical of them, but Jeff is just useless.
Yeah.
They should fire him right now because he has not done a single thing right since he's been there.
Yeah.
He's always late for work. He's always got egg down his top. He's broke the coffee machine. The vending machine's totally out of polos, and now he just, he needs,
yeah, it's
rid.
really unfortunate.
Fire Jeff. I want to get this trending on Twitter. Hashtag fire Jeff.
Wow. I mean, I know I'm like all positivity. And I do quite think maybe that's a little harsh. Poor Jeff. But yeah.
Someone's going to be like, oh, poor Jeff. Oh, taking it really seriously.
Hashtag
Jeff, just to let
poor
you know,
Jeff.
guys, this is sarcasm. Jeff is made-up developer. He doesn't exist. It's just a joke. Okay, right. That's the end. Oh, no, it's not the end. There is some more stuff in this changelog that's relatively important, although I'm not going to go into a massive amount of detail on it. And that is, do you remember not long ago, there was a big hoo-ha about chat reporting?
Yeah.
Well, I'm really surprised there hasn't been a big hoo-ha out of this, because they've slid in this thing called telemetry, right? Mm-hmm. And the reason I think there hasn't been hoo-ha is because nobody knows what telemetry means. But what telemetry is basically how Mojang uses the information in the game and takes that information and then keeps it at their house and goes, whoa, look at this information. It's data, and everyone's scared of data, right?
Yeah, of course.
There's new toggles in game to basically say how much data you're prepared to share with them, but the basic is there is a minimum amount that Java Edition have to share now with Mojang, and this is it basically says, as part of Xbox, we all need to follow a standard of practice. So basically Xbox going, hey guys, you're not giving us enough data. You need to give us data. Okay? Mm-hmm. The data that they collect is basically just how long you've been running your game for. So it's when the world starts and when you close your world. So there's two things, world unloaded and world loaded. That's the minimum amount that they will ask for, that you have to give them. Okay?
Okay.
Don't know why they need that, but that's what it is. There are more things that you can give them as well. You can give them a lot of information, but that's the minimum. So if you don't want Java Edition stealing your data, then obviously you can just turn it off, and then you'll only be giving that information, which I think's fine. I can't see any issue with that. It's not like they're taking your IP address or your computer details or anything like that. It's just that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Interesting.
And before you all get all uppity and all excited about it, like you did with the chat reporting, just bear in mind that just like the chat reporting, sort of a bit, both of these things have already existed in Bedrock Edition for forever. So yeah, the whole reason that they were able to, when they were like, oh, we've had 100 million blocks of snow mined since the mountains update for charity, because they're not just taking when you start your world and close your world on Bedrock Edition. They know everything. They know what blocks you mined. They know what direction you're facing. They know what biome you've been to. They know everything. All that data is constantly being sent, and there is no on and off button in Bedrock Edition. So, be thankful for Java Edition only taking that. And there we go. There is million more things in that changelog. Many, many, many bug fixes, but I'm not going to talk about any of those. What I am going to talk about is the... no, I'm not, because I've already covered it. The pre-release ROM. Pre-release ROM, there was some more stuff in that didn't make any sense to me. It's a relatively short changelog. There are quite a few bug fixes in it. If you want to check it out, the link will be in the description below. But that does mean that, obviously, Minecraft Java Edition 1.19.3 will be coming very soon. And I would imagine it's probably going to be before Christmas, because Mojang go on holiday for 2 months in December. So I'd be very, very surprised. Oh, it does say, if anything goes as expected, we aim to release this version on the 6th of December. So there you go.
There you go, yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. That is it. That is the news. Wrapped up, done, put it in a parcel and sent over to your house. Don't ignore the delivery man, or they'll leave it next door and you'll never get it. Okay? Jeez. Right, Jessie, it is time to move on to the bug date and find out what's bugging you. What's bugging you this week, Jessie?
I haven't really come across any bugs this week, shockingly.
Fired.
I know.
You can join Jeff at the jobs office.
Wow.
Well, no bugs.
No, wow. I'm genuinely thinking about it. I haven't come across a single one besides,
everything
the
worked
game
perfectly on Minecraft.
crashing, but that one we talked about.
Yeah. Okay. The big bug obviously is the RAM thing that we talked about, and we talked about a lot last week as well. So can't really bring that one up again.
Yeah.
For me, again, same as you, haven't really come across anything, but that's probably because I've been faffing about with other things.
Fair.
Our community, however, have had a couple of bugs.
Oh, okay.
Starting with Whitebush, who says, while we're in Swift Sneak 3 and trying to build a bridge walking backwards, blocks will pillar downwards, causing uneven pillars hanging off the bottom of your bridge. Now, there is a bug report to this, and it does actually suggest that this happens. Now, the bug report doesn't actually specify Swift Sneak 3. And I would like to disagree with Whitebush that it is Swift Sneak that does this, although there has been a couple of people have said Swift Sneak do it in the comments for that bug report. I think Swift Sneak does make it worse, but this has been happening to me on Truly Bedrock this season, as you will see in this week's video, which is a collaboration between me and Slack, which we built a witch farm, which I was trying to place blocks in a row, and they were building 3 tall pillars behind me, upwards. And I didn't have Swift Sneak because I haven't been to the thingy yet. So I believe this can happen regardless, and according to the bug report, it also happens regardless, but people are suggesting Swift Sneak does it as well. So I think that just makes it worse.
Yeah. Yeah. Because now that you say that, I've definitely had the pillar up. I keep having the pillar up, which I just find very random. So yeah, that is a thing that has been annoying.
I notice it more. Now, where we were putting blocks was we were actually putting it in 1 block high water in a swamp, obviously where there's a witch hut, and there was seagrass at the bottom of the swamp. So it was generally when I was trying to click to place a block where seagrass was, it would place the block behind me and then start pillaring up from there. So I wonder if it's got something to do with what block you're pointing at. But
maybe.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? But yes, there is bug. Don't like it. Fix it, please. Mojang. Maybe we should let Jeff come back so he can fix some of these bugs.
Aw. Well, moving on to the next one. How would you say this? Rupina?
Rupina?
Oh, yeah. Okay. So it's not the same. Rupina says, I'm losing the text on signs at random when you dye them. That sounds very frustrating, and I am suddenly very glad I have not had that experience.
Yeah, I've not seen that either. It'd be interesting to know what device you're playing on and what dyes you were using and what type of sign it was.
Yeah.
Or is it hanging sign? Is it one that's in the beta or the preview? We need more information, Rupina, if you could help us out with that. We'd like to get to the bottom of this bug for you so that we can inform Jeff exactly what is going wrong and he can make it worse. Catbar says, hello anyone who's on the podcast today. I have a bug that doesn't affect people who play in survival, but people who mess around with stuff in creative. Jesse B, I've already read this one and this is brilliant. This is probably the best bug I've ever come across in my life, and how Catboss has discovered it is beyond me, but I love it. Okay? Basically, if you place a few hundred ender crystals on one block, because of course we all do that, 2 things happen. Spiders come running to it and they get flung very far. This is a problem because they usually despawn when they touch the ender crystals, and it does it for all mobs. I'm very tired of my pets going ludicrous speed and despawning or suffocating in a wall. Love the podcast. Keep up the good work. Cat Boss, what are you doing? You know when you're just having to place a few hundred ender crystals on one block? Yeah, I know it well. What? Why? What are you doing that for?
I am genuinely curious now. What did you do? Like, I would love to know. What was the purpose?
Yeah,
genuinely interested.
I want to know if this is Bedrock or Java. I'm assuming it's Bedrock, but why? I think this is brilliant. Why would spiders just suddenly go running to it, right? And then obviously they're going to get flung. I think Java Edition, because Bedrock entities, like, they don't really have that like explosive collision thing. Although if it was Java, there would be entity cramming and I don't know.
Yeah, I think it has to be Bedrock. So that's really interesting. I want to know. Give me more information, Cat Boss, please. please.
Yeah, and Cat Boss, you specify spiders come run into it, but then you said you're tired of your pets going ludicrous speed. So is it are all mobs getting drawn to this? Is it like a gravitational pull? Have you invented Black Hole in Bedrock Edition? I need to know.
Yeah,
I need
amazing.
to know. Oh, geez, amazing! Thank you so much for that, Cat Boss. It is probably the most useless bug report we've had because we've got no information. But I want to know. This is the one I desperately want to know the most about. Out of all the bugs we've ever had, I need more information on this one. I want to see it.
Agreed.
Jeez, that's amazing. Thank you so much, Cat Boss.
Oh, goodness. White Rabbit says, when curing zombie villagers, if the zombie was holding something at the time of conversion, the item just vanishes instead of dropping to the ground. Oh, that's frustrating.
Cat Boss. Not Cat Boss. We've already had Cat Boss. Jeez.
Yeah.
White Rabbit, are you using any add-ons? Because that's been fixed for a while.
Oh.
And if you're using add-ons, then there's a chance that you're using old villagers or old zombies. Speaking of which, Jessie B,
Yes.
It could potentially be, although this is a little bit big-headed of me to think so, but it could be my fault. You see, on my website, not my fxnt.net one, my foxynotail.com, where all my add-ons and downloads are, I have a customizable mob griefing downloader. So you basically go, I don't want Endermans to do this. You tick all the boxes. I don't want creepers to do that. I don't want this to happen. I don't want that to happen. And when you press the button, it builds you a pack and gives you the pack. And I was absolutely 100% convinced that I'd taken the time many, many ago to make it that it would always give you the most recent version of the entity files. I'm sure I'd done that. I could have sworn about it. But it didn't. So it turns out everybody that's been using that has been getting entities that are probably getting on for a couple of years old. So today, this morning, as part of my administration, it's administration day on Wednesdays, I've totally revamped that system, and now it will always pull the very latest version of each of the entities out. It will recode them on the fly to take away the things that you don't want in them, and then it will give you the pack that's up to date. So if White Rabbit is using something like that, not necessarily mine, but using an add-on that has old entity data in there, then that could well be why that's happening. Either that, or it's a genuine bug and it's come back again, but it shouldn't, because that was like bug fix from many, many ago.
No, that's interesting. That makes me laugh. Very old. Just y'all have very old mobs. They've been around forever, guys.
Yeah. 1.16 mobs in my 1.19 world, bro. It'd be all right. What could go wrong?
I love it.
Okay, that's the end of the Bugdate, which, of course, takes us straight into the wish list. And we have wished for many things this week. Jessie B, what's your wish?
I want more purple blocks. And I know that sounds very random and very pointed, and it is.
Hang on. I need to count all of the purple blocks now. So we got amethyst. We have, like, every single type of terracotta is purple, regardless of what colour it says it is.
Yeah.
We have purple glazed terracotta. We have purple concrete. We have purple concrete powder. We have purpur. Purpur bricks.
Yep.
Am I missing any?
I would say crying obsidian.
Crying obsidian and obsidian, technically.
Technically,
okay, so
yeah.
We've got 9 purple blocks, and you want more?
Yeah, because this season I'm building with crying obsidian, and nothing matches that purple, and I need.
So you the purple of the block or the magenta-y dripsy bits?
The purple of the block. Like I really want like that nice, deep, pretty purple. Like because what we have the ugly purpur block, right? Like it's hideous. I hate that block so much. And
why does it exist?
It's so gross. But then you have amethyst, right? And I'm like, okay, that color's not bad. However, busiest block on the planet. And I'm just like, I don't want that busyness. So I need blocks that go with crying obsidian that have like that nice, pretty hue. I need it.
Geez.
I want purpur.
The only things I can think that come anywhere close is actual obsidian and coal blocks, which I know, and even Blackstone, because Blackstone's got that purpley tinge to it, but they're not going to give you that vibrancy.
No.
They're going to be very dark.
Yeah. So yeah,
Jeez.
I've been struggling with that palette a little bit. So I was just like, you know what? Give me non-ugly purple blocks. It doesn't have to be a lot. Just a few non-ugly purple would be great.
Can I modify your wish?
Okay, yes.
Okay. What if, instead of having more purple blocks, we spoke to Jeff, right? We were like, Jeff, have you ever seen Purpur blocks? And obviously Jeff said, no, I have no idea what's Purpur. And we would point them out to him and then say, Jeff, if these were a different colour, like a purple that matched the other purples in the game, for instance, or any colour that matched the other colours in the game, for instance, we would be less inclined to throw you out of the top floor window at the Mo Young offices.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
So we just I know that would make end cities and end ships slightly less iconic, but they might look nice.
Yeah, they might look pretty. It'd be
I
great.
mean, even if Purpur was same colour as Shulker, it would be nice.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a great one, but it's not terrible.
No. So yeah, if we can adapt your wish to changing the colour of purple blocks rather than just adding in more purple blocks, because I think we got enough. I just think they're all the wrong colour. Then I would happily throw that in the good ideas bin.
Okay, I'm okay with that.
Okay, so my wish list item, Jessie, is very relevant for this week's podcast. I am simply asking for vanilla player heads for both Bedrock and Java Edition in survival.
Done.
Which I don't think will happen because I think Mo Yang will have a big problem glorifying chopping people's heads off. But if they were obtained by charged creeper explosion rather than looting effect, I think would be okay.
Agreed. Yeah, I think that's a fair trade-off, just like how we get every other head in Minecraft. Why not?
Except for the wither skeleton.
Nice. That one's different.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that would... I mean, technically, you do get wither skeleton heads from charged creeper explosions. You just can also get them, obviously, from chopping them with looting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that would be a good compromise. I think that would just about be on the limits of what Mo Yang would probably consider acceptable, considering the piglin head is probably the most humanoid type of head we can now get in the game.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a pig, but it looks human, right? It looks more human than a creeper or a zombie or a skeleton or a wither skeleton.
Agreed.
Do you agree?
Yeah, definitely.
So I that would be great. So I don't care if they don't share the code in order to pull out the player skin files. I don't care about that. And I don't care if they say, well, if you've got a marketplace skin, which the majority of our players have because they're all on mobile or console, then you just get default Steve, or you just get like a whatever, like closest alternative, fine. But I just want to be able to get player heads in survival on both versions, totally in-game vanilla.
I am down with this plan. Absolutely.
Put it in good ideas bin?
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yes. Excellent. Good. Right. Okay, what other good ideas have we got, Jessie B? Oh, we have a few.
Yeah, looks like.
Starting with Dutch, who says, finally caught up on all podcast episodes, and a couple of the more recent ones got me thinking. Since we can already yank players and mobs around with a fishing rod, why not simply add the opposite function to it as well? Toss your line out to a block, right-click it, and it yanks you to it. Perfect solution to a grappling hook for Minecraft. Yes and no.
Yeah.
The problem is, the fishing rod bobber don't go very far.
True.
And I can imagine quite a lot of misclicks before actually, finding yourself at your intended target. So a grappling hook to me is something that has like the power of a bow or a crossbow, so can go a good distance with relative accuracy. So I like the idea, but I don't want a grappling hook to take me across a 10 block gap. I want one to take me off across a 30 block gap or a 40 block gap, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's a nice idea, but the fishing rod itself, it need to be more accurate to where you're throwing it and go along a lot further. What do you think, Jessie?
Yeah. I see. I say yeah, knowing full well that I still am not not into the grappling hook idea. But if we did have one, I do agree with you. I think that it should go further than a fishing rod is capable of.
Okay. Well, but like, I've made it more vanilla. Grappling hook is crossbow with trident on a string.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tridents already have string with loyalty.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And why can't we fire tridents on a crossbow anyway? You can fire rockets.
Because the trident is a very big, long metal pole.
Are you seeing how big crossbows are in Minecraft?
It's true. You're not wrong. Yeah. You know, I would just be okay if with the loyalty one, if, you know, instead of it coming back to you, you went to it.
If you go flying to it. Yeah, that'll do. That'll be fine.
I would not hate that idea. I think that would be cool. And it would make sense because the trident is more sturdy. Just throw the trident and then go to it. Yeah, see, done.
Goodbye. That'll be hilarious.
Compromise.
I want that. There we go. Don't even need crossbows, guys. Just invert loyalty on trident.
Yeah.
Loyalty -1.
Mm-hmm. Done.
Jeez. Oh, that'd be amazing. Yeah. Sorry, Dutch. Fishing rod out, trident in. Yeah. Oh, then I would like tridents.
I would too. How fun would that be? You just throw one and troll your friends and just it'd be so good.
Yeah, I'm into it. Let's do this. Okay,
all
Frau.
of a sudden.
Oh, it's not me.
Yeah,
not
it's me.
You. Sorry, I'm getting carried away. I got all excited over this trident.
That makes me laugh. Frau Rub says, I'd like a rainbow.
Sorry, Frau. I have no idea. It's just the way Jessie's saying rub.
Sorry. So sorry. Sorry, Frau. We'll just end it there because I make Foxy giggle. I'd like a rainbow to appear at the end of a thunderstorm, but only if we are brave enough not to sleep through the storm. Additionally, there should be prizes at the end of the rainbow. Maybe something magical. Something amazing, I guess. That's all that made me think of.
Well, was that from Despicable Me?
No, from Isn't It Incredibles? What are you looking at? What are you looking at? I don't know. Something amazing.
Yeah, the kid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Would the rainbow? Would it be physical or just graphical?
If it was graphical, that would be great. I don't have a problem with a rainbow in Minecraft.
So, would it just like a chest appear at the end of wherever the rainbow spawned in, I guess, with something in it?
That's what I would think, or a unicorn, as this maybe suggests.
Unicorn.
I want a unicorn. Let me ride a unicorn, please. Let all of my girly childhood fantasies come true. Give me a unicorn.
Okay. What if, Jessie? You know how when lightning strikes a creeper, it turns into a charged creeper?
Yes.
Or if it strikes a villager, it turns into a witch?
Mm-hmm.
What if a rainbow striked a horse and turned it into a unicorn?
If a rainbow striked a horse?
So when the rainbow appears at the end of the thunderstorm and the bottom of it, because obviously in this world, this idea, the rainbow isn't just like you can never get to the end of it. It is somewhere. Wherever the rainbow lands, if it touches a horse, it turns into a unicorn.
That's amazing. Yes, please.
The only problem, Frau Rub, is that on Bedrock Edition, we can't see anything that's more than like 3 blocks away when it's an entity. So you'd never find your rainbow.
Yeah, ever.
But there is a chance at some point you might stumble across a unicorn.
I would be so happy.
Yeah, I think if they let's say the skybox around showed a rainbow. So it's just graphical. There's no physical, there's no rainbow entity or anything like that. But the game decided at some point where the rainbow would be. And if a horse is within a range of that, then it would turn into a unicorn. I'm sure there's a way of doing that. It wouldn't be too difficult.
That'd be so cool.
Yeah. Good idea. Spinning it goes. We got this.
Yeah.
Nice. We just invented unicorn.
I love it.
Brood says, I would like somewhere sitting my respawn point in the end. We already have it in the nether with the respawn anchor. I wouldn't even be opposed to being at the respawn anchor. Brood, have you tried a bed, mate? Just say it worked really well. You should definitely try it.
No.
Yep.
Brood. Don't do it, Brood.
Do it. Do it. Or a respawn anchor. Try that.
No, don't do it. It's amazing.
Brood, this is exactly why I've been saying we're going to be getting an end update every single time they say there's going to be an update for the last gosh knows how long. Because they started us on a path. They started us on a path going, hey, Dimension's no longer just a place you get stuck in. Your dimension, a whole place you can live and get back out of again. Mm-hmm. It makes total sense that they would do that with the end as well.
I need it. And it makes me so sad that they're just like keeping it from me. Who wants deserts? I want the end.
It's got to be coming. I know we've been saying it for ages, but come on.
Yeah, it's painful at this point. It is so painful.
I've got to wait a whole nother year just to be disappointed. Like Minecraft 1.17 I thought was going to be an end update. Minecraft 1.18 I thought was going to be an end update. 1.19 thought was going to be an end update. 1.20 that's 4 years. 4 years. It can't be. And there's no way it's 4 years since we had because we got one at Christmas. Well, whatever. It's a long time for me to have been waiting, and I've got to waste at least another year. Oh,
yeah, it's painful.
I
It
give
makes
up.
me
I
sad.
can't do it anymore. Jeez.
I just want it. DJ Chris.
Yes, Bruce. So basically, that's a good idea. It's going in the good ideas bin, but only as part of an end update.
Yes.
Okay.
Done. Sorry, Brood. Totally ignored you for a second. Yes, agreed. DJ Chris says hanging item frames. Don't item frames already hang?
No, like hanging signs.
Oh.
And it says hanging item frames, bruh.
Sorry. Actually, it says breh. That's not how you spell bruh. But that's okay.
Well, that's how the cool kids spell it these days.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah.
I just am having a hard time like picturing it.
No, there's a much simpler solution. I've mentioned it before. It's dead easy. You just click on the hanging sign with an item instead of an item frame, and it just paints that onto the sign.
I like it.
Simples, mate. And then, Moyang, they don't even need to make new textures. They can just like make their own font that has all the different Minecraft items in it, and just like do a wingding. If everyone remembers those.
Oh,
It's
wow,
technically an emoji, you know? Minecraft emojis, just the Minecraft items. Just it's Apple.
I like that much more better.
Yes.
Do that.
Yep. So I'm pretty sure we've already got that in the good ideas bin, but I'll throw it again just in case.
Yeah.
Okay.
DJ Chris also says, what if we had a mob pacifier that will zip those annoying villager her noises that will never be quiet for once in my life, and dodge rolling, please? That's two things. You can only have one, and the
we got to pick which one. Oh no, quiet villagers or dodge rolling.
Yeah, there you go. What do you think, Foxy?
Was it me and you talking about if they're in a library they should be quiet? If there's bookcases around, or was that me and Slack?
I think that was you and Slack.
Okay, so basically saying these new bookshelves should act as if you've got them placed near villagers or any mobs in the game. Mm-hmm. They should the mob should detect that they're in a library and just be quiet.
That's amazing. I love that idea. Yes, so, please.
We don't need a pacifier because the bookcases are going to do it for us, DJ Chris.
Love it.
Yeah. I just want to see a creeper like sneaking through the library. Shh. I want to see a librarian, please. Yes. Okay, I'm expanding this. So the library, okay, we designate this area as a library, so all mobs inside it are quiet. But if there's a librarian villager there, it's the only one that makes a noise, and occasionally it just goes, shh.
Yes. Done. I need this in my life.
Yeah. So instead of, it's shh. Yeah. Okay, right. Tyler B, our last piece of wish list. With Mojang adding the ability to place mobs' heads on note blocks and having it play the ambient sounds of the mob, I think it would be a good idea that if you have that, the sound that is playing would scare that mob away, or at least keep them at a distance. An example would be if you put a zombie head on a note block and played the sounds, zombies wouldn't spawn or come near the note block for somewhere around 10 to 20 blocks. Personally, I would love this feature for the sole purpose of keeping skeletons away. If there is anything that anyone should know about me and my experience with Minecraft, is that skeletons and any of them are my demise. Creepers are second, always. Anyways, what do you think? I like this idea, but I have one problem with it, Tyler B. I think it would, basically you're replacing mob spawning, which is great. I love the idea that we can prevent mob spawning in areas, but you're replacing that with the constant noises of mobs instead.
Yeah.
Because the problem with these mob heads on note blocks is, unlike all of the other types of getting sounds out of note blocks, like if you want to make a guitar noise, you put it on a hay block or something, you get like a banjo noise, right? But you put the note block on top of the block that you want it to make the sound of. If you put a block on top of a note block, it silences the note block. The problem with the mob heads one is the mob heads do not go under the note block, they go on top of it, which means there's no way of silencing the note block.
Ugh.
So it would just be constant sounds of, because I'm going to have a zombie, creeper, and skeleton one. That'll stop all three of those spawning around my base. But wherever you go, it would be constant.
Yeah, that's
so I love the
no.
idea, but we need a way to silence that as well.
Oh man,
which kind of voids the point of having it. So, what's the solution here, Jessie B?
Finding a way to deafen it, I guess.
No.
Yeah.
No, there's a much simpler solution, Jessie.
What would that be?
You put the mob head on top of a beacon, and it would stop mob spawning.
Ooh. Okay.
Because everyone's been always going on about, I wish beacons had a thing so you could stop mob spawning.
It's true.
Well, if they're going to let us put mob heads on note blocks and make mob sounds, then allow us to put mob heads on beacons and make mob beacons.
Mob beacons. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair.
Having said that, if you had a zombie head on a beacon and it became a zombie beacon, is that not just going to call loads more more zombies to it? Because they think it's like, oh, geez.
You get a horde of zombies just coming after you. You're like, oh, yeah, this went exactly as planned.
Although that could work. How Mojang always like to do things differently. You know, people ask them for something like, okay, yeah, we like this idea, but we're going to put our Mojang spin on it.
Yeah.
Why, instead of stopping mobs from spawning, it was a beacon that called the mobs to that beacon so they weren't bothering you?
Ooh, you could make some fun farms. Just have a falling pit and they all just go down there.
Yeah, well, you can do that with zombie pigmen and thingy eggs.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So why not? Why not have a ability in game that allows you to do that with all the mobs? Or the mob of your choice, depending on what mob head you use. I like it. I'm up for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Which takes us to the very end of the wish list, which means we're moving on, Jessie B, yet again. But before we do, I just want to remind everybody, if you would like to send us your ideas for Minecraft, what you think should be in the game, or a question, or some feedback, or a bug, then email us at news@theminecraftupdate.com, or fill out our handy online feedback form, or if you want to be extra cool, breh, you can go to the Discord, bro, and write it all in there, and I can see it, and it's much more convenient. Okay. Okay, we are now in the questions zone, Jessie. It is questions time. And we're starting with Robo Rufus saying, what coding language do you use for your programs? I think this is for you.
None. I definitely think this is yours.
Okay, Robo Rufus. It totally depends. So, My version switcher is written with a program called AutoIt, which the reason I use that is because I found it one day. It's incredible. It's really flexible, and it requires you to have very little programming knowledge, which is exactly what I need. My prune tool and my clone tool use C++, which I had to learn every single time I update that. I have to learn it all over again because I don't get it. It doesn't come easy to me. It's very complicated. I don't like it. And everything else I do that's web-based is generally done in either JavaScript or PHP or both. And PHP is I feel like it's a blanket. I could wrap myself up in it and write it all day. I don't know it inside out and back to front. In fact, I know a very small part of it in the scheme of things because it's a huge programming language, but I'm so confident with it. I know I can do it to do whatever I want to do with it. If I could use that for writing desktop programs or mobile applications, I would, but it's not as easy as that because it's a web-based language, which is a bit annoying. So my new app that I'm writing, my Minecraft admin thing for programming your servers and your worlds and your packs and everything like that is all written in PHP, but it does mean as a result you're going to have to be effectively running a server on your PC just to run the thing, but it'll all be hidden behind doors. You won't even notice. It'll just run like a normal program. So there you go. Now you know.
Now we know.
Now we know.
Well, from there we can go to CJ, who has a question for us.
A quiz question.
I was just going to say, of the quiz variety. It says,
yes.
How tall is an Enderman?
5'6". I know it already, Jesse. I don't need the multiple choice. Thank you very much. Well, did I win?
No. Is it equal to the height of a zombie and a chicken?
Yes.
A skeleton and a chicken?
Yes.
A creeper and a chicken?
Yes.
Or 3 chickens?
What?
Yeah, it's what it says. I genuinely had never thought about it. And luckily they gave us the answer. Yes, what?
A zombie and a chicken. Mm-hmm. A zombie and a skeleton are the same height,
yes,
right?
They are.
They're 2 blocks tall. Mm-hmm. And a chicken is 1 block tall. Mm-hmm. Okay? And an Enderman is 3 blocks tall.
Yes.
So zombie and chicken and skeleton and chicken are right. Mm-hmm. A creeper is just slightly shorter than 2 blocks tall. So that's wrong unless an Enderman is just slightly shorter than 3 blocks tall, which I don't think it is. And 3 chickens is 3 blocks tall. So A, B, and D are all the same.
That's what I was thinking, but I thought maybe they're slightly taller than 2 blocks. I don't know.
No, they're not. Otherwise, we'll be able to go through doors. So either an Enderman is because is a chicken a full block or is it not?
I didn't think it was. But
maybe
it can't get through a trapdoor. So I don't know.
So what's the answer? What's the answer, CJ? I need to know.
CJ says it's 3 chickens.
I'm going to have to Google this now.
Yeah, right?
Hang on. How tall is a chicken?
In Minecraft.
27.6 inches, it says.
In Minecraft?
Oh, that's not Minecraft. Yeah. That's just a chicken. How does it know how tall all chickens are?
I think it just gives you the average.
27 my chicken's 27.5 inches. Hang on, no, I can actually figure this out for reals. Bear with me, Jessie B. Okay, this is going to take me a minute. Okay. So we're chicken, yeah?
Yeah.
Chicken. According to the entity data for a chicken's height is 0.8 blocks. Okay. Right, that's the collision box size. So I'm assuming that's what we're going from here. A zombie, hang on.
Yep.
Is 1.9 blocks.
Okay.
What was the other option? Skeleton.
Mm-hmm.
A skeleton is 1.9 blocks, so A and B are the same. And a creeper is 1.8 blocks. So, calculator time. We got 1.9 blocks plus 0.8 blocks is 2.7 blocks. So, zombie and a chicken and skeleton chucking both 2.7 blocks. A creeper and a chicken which would be 1.8 add 0.8 is 2.6 blocks. 3 chickens would be 0.8 times 3, which is 2.4 blocks. Now let's find how big an Enderman is. Collision box size 2.9. So it's not 3 chickens.
No.
The answer is none of them.
Yeah.
So I'm
Foxy was
very...
like, no, shenanigans.
Thank you very much, CJ. But if you're going to ask us the question, maybe it's a good idea to give us the right answer at the end.
Oh my goodness. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
no, that's interesting because obviously if you look at a chicken in game, it's probably, I don't know, or maybe on Java Edition slightly different heights. I don't know, but interesting that we now know the answer is none of them. So great, thank you.
Yeah, it is kind of weird. Like, yeah, that's really cool.
Thank you, CJ.
Yes,
All
thank
joking
you.
aside, more of those, please. Even if the answer's totally wrong, I don't care. I love it.
That was a lot of fun. Ori says, you didn't understand my question last week. Spiders can climb on camels and damage the player. Maybe only on Java. I think it's annoying. What do you think? Oh, they can. What?
Really? Are you sure?
I didn't think that they could. I thought that was the whole point, that you are above where mobs can get you.
The thing, can spiders climb up other entities? Can they climb up the player?
No.
So why would they suddenly be able to climb up a camel?
No idea.
I'm really sorry for not believing you here, Ori. I really want to believe you, but from my experience, my expert level 99 knowledge of Minecraft and entities and things like that, whilst it might be quite skewed towards Bedrock Edition, I believe even with Java Edition that entities can't stand on each other unless it's something like a boat or something that is supposed to be hard. So unless they've made the camel solid like a boat, I don't think it would be possible. I haven't played with the camel at all in either version, so it would be interesting to see if it is solid. But really interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what do I think? I think if it's true and they can, I think it's stupid and they should get rid of it. But what do I think about? I don't believe it's the case. What do you think, Jessie?
Yeah, I agree. If it is true, and if that really is a thing, then no, take it out now. Don't like it.
The other thing, obviously with Java Edition, you can bump into each other. Like, there's collisions between players on Java Edition, but that doesn't exist on Bedrock Edition. So, I don't know. There might be some disparity between the two versions there, but I'm gonna try and remember to find out about that before next week's show. I won't. I'll totally forget. But can someone else do it for me and remind me? Thank you. Okay. Our last question then. Our last question of the day and of this podcast is from somebody whose name I'm not going to say because it was in an email and I don't think I should say it. And they say, are you ready for this, Jessie B?
Mm-hmm.
We want the voice behind the Minecraft Update podcast on Wisdom. I'd like to offer you the top badge, our highest badge if you join us. Wisdom is the place to meet, share and learn from fellow podcasters. We are venture-backed and growing fast. The top badge is Wisdom's version of Twitter's blue checkmark, which means I absolutely don't want it. Each day you'll get a new batch of voice intros of interesting podcasters to listen to and meet, hand-chosen to be relevant to you. You can also talk live to audience of hundreds or even thousands. You'll grow your audience, meet amazing potential guests, and learn from other talented podcasters. Can I please send you a sign-up link that will also grant you a top badge? No thanks.
That's amazing.
I don't want to have interesting podcasters filling my mailbox every morning with voice intros. I couldn't imagine anything worse.
What do you mean? It's amazing.
I just don't get it. you understand that? What, does this sound good to you, Jesse?
No, not even remotely. Like, it wouldn't be the thing that would get me to sign up to to you. Just like, what world is that? Like, that's the draw. No, thank you.
Yeah. You get a badge like on Twitter's blue check mark. It's good. You can have it. I'll pass. I can't believe considering how the blue check mark on Twitter has been totally destroyed over the last couple of weeks. I can't believe they're like using that as an analogy for their. Oh, geez, you need person who sent us this question. If you are listening to this podcast, which clearly you're not, because obviously there's more than one presenter on here, and you only want one of them, according to we want the voice behind the Minecraft Update podcast. I would strongly recommend that you don't compare yourself to Twitter or its blue check mark. I would strongly recommend that you perhaps consider something that real life people might be interested in rather than these imaginary podcasters that you believe exist, that you want to join your service, that are desperate to have their competitors talk to them all day and fill their voicemails, their inbox full of voice intros. I get, like, a social pool of people in a similar field is a good idea.
Yeah.
I like that idea. But realistically, the only people that are going to be using that service are people that don't have anything relatively successful going on, that are looking to build on the back of successful people. If you've got something semi-successful or successful, chances are you don't have the time in your life to be teaching people that haven't how to do it and giving them a leg up the ladder. It just doesn't seem particularly right. That being said, YouTube networks are still a thing, even though they should all be shot and killed and buried.
Wow.
And they still can't. It's horrible. That I get regularly either Twitter direct messages, emails, or comments from companies you've never heard of before, claiming to be a network that want full control of your channel in offer for a load of buzzwords and jargon. And I always talk to them, and I always ask them to actually tell me what they're offering without using any buzzwords, without using any jargon. Tell me straight what you're getting from that service. And do you know what you get from joining one of those services? By giving away between 20, 30, 40% of your revenue that you've earned, what do you get from them?
Well wishes?
No, you get access to a very, very small audio library that will be total junk that they've got off the internet for free. And sometimes on occasion you get access to graphic designers that will help you make your thumbnails, which is pointless because a graphic designer has no idea what content you've made. They've got no idea of you. It's a total independent person. And unless you're prepared to spend hours back and forth with someone over, something that should technically be a 10-minute task to you, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
For all of that revenue you're giving away, even if you're a small channel. If you're a big channel, it's even worse. So I genuinely think networks should be banned. It's disgusting because they just throw all of these words at you, and all they're doing is they're taking your money and giving you absolutely nothing of value back. They don't give you any statistics. Some of them even offer to give you more, like get you a better commission rate from Google or a better RPM from the ads on your channel, which they can't. It's impossible. Google control all of that. It's totally useless. So don't join a network. If you're part of a network, get rid of it. Control it yourself. It's easy. You don't need somebody to do it. If you want somebody to make your thumbnails, go on Fiverr. They'll do it for like $1, $2.
Jeez.
It's much cheaper than spending, if I was giving away 20% of my channel every month for nothing, that's like, well, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, it is.
£100 a month. For what? A lot more than I can afford to give away. So this to me is it's like one of those things. We give you some buzzwords. We tell you things that we think you're going to be interested in, and we want to get you on board. But it's just for them. It doesn't help you.
Yeah.
I don't think they're a bad. From what we've seen of this, I've not looked into them. I've not looked at the website. I'm sure they're great, but they haven't offered anything of use. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of substance.
Yeah, but they are asking you for your time, and time is valuable, and I don't like giving away my time.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway, that was a bit of a weird
tangent.
Yeah, to go on at the end of the podcast, but I thought it was interesting, so I threw it in there.
Yeah, it is.
On that note, Jessie B, unfortunately, though, it is time to end the podcast, which is sad news, because that means, because it's Wednesday, and I got to edit it now. Well, normally I get like the night off, and I can edit it in the morning, but now I got to do it right now.
Oh no!
Jeez. Before we go, though,
yes,
we do need to find out what you're going to be doing this week, Jessie B.
Oh, me. I'm going to be streaming. Streaming probably 4 days a week still. In December, I'm going to be doing daily streaming. So that's going to be fun. So I'm mentally preparing for that. And videos are still guaranteed once a week, but I've been doing 2. So we'll see.
Good.
Yeah.
Well,
what about
I'm
you?
going to be
Yep.
streaming. Yeah, sorry,
No,
Jessie.
you're
I'm going to be
fine.
streaming 4 times a week. Monday mornings on YouTube. Monday evenings on Twitch. Thursday mornings on YouTube and Thursday evenings on Twitch. So I'm now double days on 2 days of the week, which is lovely. Yeah. So, and my videos will be coming out on Saturdays as usual. Jeez. So that's it. All that's left to do, Jessie, is say the same thing that I say at the end of every podcast, and is if you are overly critical about things you know nothing about, and if you like to be sarcastic and just, brush off good ideas without any form of constructive feedback, then you're just like me. Oh, jeez.
Oh, goodness.
Thank you all very much for listening. It's time to go.
Yes. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, goodness.